And that is not like a relationship, but literally each and every living being has played the role of becoming your mother. You can develop the same kind of the respect that you have to your mother with the rest of the sentient beings as a mother sentient being. So it's one of the most important practice. From the Buddhist perspective, from Buddhist philosophical or Buddhist teaching point of view, there are thousands of reasons to prove all the goodness is actually the parents are one of the greater player. When we talk about precious human rebirth, precious human rebirth, without the contribution of father and mother, even how great your mind continuum that you have in the past, you cannot even take rebirth into this world. But there are plenty of reasons. And the sixth element, beside the four elements, then father's substance, mother's substance, make up of this human aggregates, which serve as a basis for human intelligence, or at least human mind, which even give an opportunity to enjoy taking the natural clear light onto the path, etc., etc. Unbelievable reasons out there. It's so easy to convince. But if I need to say in a conventional, normal language, then obviously, yes, of course, there are also a lot of challenges in life. But at the same time, if you be non-biased about your relation to the experiences that you came up to today, there are also a lot of amazing experiences that you had. That's why maybe you are still surviving up to today. You are still alive today, and actually, parents are the main reason that we are here. In particularly 9 months, they have protected us. And after 9 months, until we come to sensible, maybe age of maybe 5, 6, those are the most vulnerable period. And one or another way, whatever way we want to see limitation in our parents, they are still the main force behind to keep us alive, keep us safe. Then we are social animal. Yeah, we need friends or family environment. But the first environment of other human being is our parents. So even from that point of view, as by nature being social animal, our survival is very much dependent on the great contribution. The first people are the parent, whether they treat you nice or not nice. And on top of that, by nature of bringing a life like a child, no question about human being. Even look at the animals. How much responsibility they take, how much protections that they provide for their cubs, even for the animals. And without doubt, it is a nature. It is not a kind of philosophical kind of view to make them care about us, concerned about us. But if there's any difficult relationship that you have experienced with them, either has to be they themselves going through so much of suffering, so much of stress to gather the means to provide for us. Maybe they're emotionally going through trouble, physically going through troubles, environmentally going through troubles. Maybe by others' power, they may be going through troubles to be able to take good care of us. That could be only the reason, because as a nature, as a mother, father, the first priority, still, if not consciously, but at least subconsciously, first priority is by nature is there for us. So therefore, we have all the reasons. These are just few examples. There are many other reasons. We have more reasons to see goodness in them than the faults, kindness in them than the troubles. And the contribution from them, then they may be the blame that we give to them, that they didn't love us enough, care, provided us enough. They did their very best. And sometimes when you become parent, and maybe that is the best opportunity to learn the lesson, because it's to be a parent is not easy, and the parent will never kind of boast, or never kind of complain how much they care for us, because their love is unconditional love. And I think when you become parent, I think one or another way. But of course, even while you become parent, your mind is just shut off, and you just focus on one direction. Of course, even by then also you may not realize. But if you just open up your heart and try not to be biased, not to be emotional, but rather try to understand more deeper level. And without doubt, we always, there's plenty of reason for us to appreciate our parents' existence in our life. So in Buddhism, one of very important knowledge or practice or philosophy, or very much accepting the fact there's existence of life and rebirth. And on the basis of that, you have relationship with the entire limitless living beings, as close relationship as your parent, as like your mother. And that is not like a relationship, but literally each and every living being has played the role of becoming your mother. That's actually one of the most valuable idea. Even just an idea is the most valuable, because that really set a foundation to build the connection or the close relationship with others. Of course, based on Buddhist teaching, first you train with your mother, because biologically or by nature, mother is still the closest to you from all point of view, from all the reasons. Even of course, father contributes so much, but we didn't stay, in like physical kind of like part of being physical of father. Even we have the lineage of father's physical substance, but for mother, we become part of their body for 9 months. Then after that, emotional attachment from our mother towards us is, by nature, is actually greater. Y- You know, maybe most of the father may not agree, but by nature, and in relation to the physical contact, or being part of their physical body, mother naturally have, I think, stronger emotional bonding. And if we're able to develop the sense of that bonding, that connection, that relationship with our mother, that's the way that you can able to develop respect, compassion, love, all these great qualities in relation you can build. And that can do similar, especially on the basis of reasoning of based on Buddhist teaching, karmic law, cause and effect, life and rebirth. And based on that, you can able to make a similar quality of connection with your loving mother, with your father, your brother, sister, your friends, and all humanity, and all the sentient beings. Because life and rebirth is a limitless lives in the past, limitless lives will come in the future. Not always we take rebirth, rending the womb of others, but there are limitless times of rebirths that we had to rend, to be born, the womb of mother. Uh, so 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 somehow that you can develop the same kind of um, the respect that you have to your mother with the rest of the sentient beings as a mother sentient being. So it's one of the most important practice. And when you want to train your heart, uh, the level of altruism, which in Buddhism, Mahayanic Buddhist teaching talk about bodhichitta, you need to develop this great compassion. In order to develop this great compassion, in order to develop great love, in order to develop this great love, the first thing is you need to recognize the importance and the kindness and the benefit that you receive first from your mother, this life's mother, and that can apply to rest of the other sentient beings who in fact did play the role of being mother in the past lifetimes, and not only one time but many times. And this is actually the foundation where you can actually bring the result of enlightenment, because this quality will lead to develop bodhichitta, and bodhichitta is the direct cause for enlightenment.